Hey there, welcome back to my channel. I'm Charlotte. If you're new here, I do videos on beauty, books, fragrance, and fitness. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for joining me today. In today's video, I want to share with you my top 20 perfumes for 2020. So a little caveat to that is that I have a lot of new perfumes that I have not made up my mind about yet. And there's some perfumes that I haven't really worn a lot yet because I'm going to wear them in the summer. And so, you know, at first I was like, well, maybe I should wait, but you know what? It is what it is. Right now, at this moment, these are the 20 perfumes that I cannot live without. And so without further ado, if that sounds good to you and exciting, keep watching. So a lot of people have been doing this in the fragrance community, and I wanted to jump right in and play along with you too. This was so hard for me to do because, to be honest, I have over 100 perfumes and I love most of them. And so to narrow it down to a top 20 was very hard. And it doesn't mean that the ones that didn't make it are not great. I love them too, probably love them, maybe like them. I definitely don't not like them. Anyway, so this was really hard for me to do. Like I made a list and then I was like, wait, no, that doesn't make sense. I had to change it a bunch of times, and then some scents I wasn't sure about and I had to like test them out in the day and be like, is that really what I want to put there, that spot? So yeah, it was hard. And I think that you will probably be able to tell that I seem to have a preference for sweet, creamy, heavy, very feminine fragrances. Tend to. This morning I woke up and I was like, I don't know if this one deserves to be at that spot. And I was like, you know what? I could keep doing this every day and they're always going to change spots. So I'm just going to go with the last list I made and we're going to go with that. And yes, it will absolutely change because my tastes change and I love perfume and I'm always trying to mix it up. So let's get into it without further ado. Okay, so at number 20, starting at number 20, remember I love all of these and they are in order of preference, but it doesn't mean that this is not good. This is so good. So at number 20, we have Kenzo Amour over here. And this is just such an easy reach for me. It's creamy, it's sweet, it's soft, it's comforting. It's unique. It's not cheap smelling at all. And it has some of my favorite notes. It has incense, it has vanilla, it has frangipani, it has heliotrope, which gives it a powderiness. It has at the top, it has white tea and rice, which I do get the rice. I have other fragrances that have a rice note and I don't get the rice, but in this one I do. Like rice water. So nice. I also get the cherry blossom, which I didn't notice. I'm just looking at the notes now. And the musk, I'm like, the base is just so comforting. It's just vanilla, musk, incense, and woody notes. It's really beautiful, and it's often compared to Hypnotic Poison. It's definitely inspired by Hypnotic Poison. Hypnotic Poison, Valentina Poudre, or Poudre. Actually, that one's Poudre. It's Narciso that's Poudre, I think. Is it? Oh no, I think it is Poudre. It's Valentina Poudre. Really yummy. Definitely recommend it if you like powdery, creamy, vanilla. Yummy. So good. So good. Next up at number 19, what do we have? Mancera's Rose Vanille, or Roses Vanille. And this is a very, very heavy, very potent, very strong in your face, syrupy rose vanilla. Beautiful. So beautiful. And actually I'm going to recommend, because this one's a little bit pricier, it's on the low end of pricey for niche, but I find that this is nearly identical to Swiss Arabian's Florence. And so, to be honest, you could go with either one. But Florence is about half the price. You can get this one for about 45 Canadian. Very good quality, very potent. Everything from Swiss Arabian is really potent. And it smells pretty much the same, to be honest. Like, it's, they're out of all the scents I have and like dupe vibes in my collection, they're probably the most identical I have of all my scents. Like literally, it's probably the only, like I can detect very small differences between fragrances, and this is probably the only one that like really you don't need both. I would say that it is redundant to have them both, and between the two I would choose this one just because it's a little bit heavier to me on the vanilla, just a little bit. And by that, you can't tell by just smelling the atomizer. It's really in the dry down that I feel that. But really honestly, go for either one, or if you have Florence, don't feel like you're missing out on the other one, and vice versa. Definitely if you have Roses Vanille, you're okay, you don't need Florence. So that was number 19. But number 18 we have Mon Guerlain by Guerlain, and this is a beautiful lavender vanilla. And again, I have a good recommendation for you with this because I think that it smells very, very close. Let's see if I can find it. Just wore it the other day. So this is very, very close to this, which is Guess Seductive Noir. The main difference between both of these, they're both aromatic vanillas, but this one has sage and this one has lavender. And to be honest, I would like to see Guerlain do something with sage and vanilla, because I was really actually surprised by how much I liked Mon Guerlain, because I'm not a big lavender fan. So yes, if you don't love lavender and you're like, oh, I'm not getting that because I don't like lavender, I'm not a lavender fan and I love this. I love where they're going with the vanilla aromatics. I would love to smell some rosemary, some thyme, some sage. I would love to get some more savory notes in my perfumes. And I think that all of those rich, yummy, lactonic notes that I love would really come alive in a different, new, innovative way if I smelled them with a little bit more of notes that are traditionally in masculine fragrances. So all the aromatics, I would love to see those in more female fragrances. If you want to have a taste of something like Mon Guerlain, but you don't want to spend that much, you want to test out and see if you like it, I honestly think that this comes very close. It does not smell the exact same. It's not a dupe. The dry down is very similar. Someone who doesn't really know how to tell scents that much apart would actually probably think they smell the same. I don't think they smell the same, okay? But they absolutely have the same vibe, same feeling. At the same time as I want to reach for the other one, I will reach for this one. I think this is underrated. I really truly think this is very underrated. Next up, at number 17, we have none other than Paco Rabanne's Olympia. And Olympia, the only reason it's not higher up is because I already know I love this and it's not new to me. And I take it a little bit for granted. I shouldn't, because to be honest, this is one of the best smelling perfumes of all time to me. I love it. It's a salty vanilla, but it's a little bit aquatic and I'm not an aquatic kind of fragrance person, so I don't want to turn you off by saying that. It's a salty vanilla. And for some reason, like, you can wear it year round, and actually I think this is a perfect signature fragrance to wear all year round. But I especially love it in spring and summer, and I'm keeping it for that time. And because it's not new in my collection, it's farther down. But to be honest, it's just because like I didn't particularly wear this one a lot this year, that's all. But if I had to choose, you know, like, anyway, I think you understand what I'm saying. Still, it's great. It's at number 17. Olympia. At number 16, we have Valentina Poudrée. Valentina Poudrée. First of all, this bottle. So beautiful. Like, right? Such a beautiful bottle. Cannot go wrong with this bottle. And this is a powdery vanilla, and it's just so comforting. And even though it actually has literal powdery notes in it, there's something also very creamy about it. It's not an old powder. It's not like a, what people call like a grandma powder. It's very classic. It's very elegant in a modern kind of way, and that's my number 16. Love it. Where were we at? So at number 15, we have Lolita Lempicka's Lolita Land, right over here. And look at this cute little bottle. And my son dropped it accidentally, so it's missing a little ear. Yeah. And this, I love Lolita Lempicka. To me, Lolita Lempicka makes the most whimsical, unique, potent, different kind of fragrances, and I love, I'm always excited for a Lolita Lempicka launch. This, Gabby from Gabby Loves Perfume describes it as apricot jam with sugar on it, and I would say yes, that's what I get from it. But if that were all I got from it, I wouldn't necessarily like it, because two things: I need more depth to my fragrance, and also I'm not a big apricot fan. But the apricot is okay in here to me, because there's incense underneath it. So this is still a vanillic, incensey sort of perfume, and that is a winning combination for me. So I love this. I really like using this to layer as well. Yeah. Sometimes it's just a little bit too... It can feel a little bit juvenile sometimes. And I mean, well, I mean, you can look at the bottle. It looks a little maybe juvenile, but it's super yummy. It's super delicious. It's not juvenile. It just, sometimes it feels a little bit too linear for me, and so I need to layer it. But there you go. I've been loving this year, and this is number 15. At number 14, we have La Vie est Belle Intense. And this one, great. I didn't realize I was doing that. And this, it smells very similar to the original flanker. It smells very original to the original flanker. It just has an added note of hazelnut and whipped cream, and it's a little bit nuttier and creamier, as you could imagine. And nuttier and creamier is always good in my books. So yeah, I really enjoy this. I really would like to smell La Vie est Belle Intensément. Intensément is the newest release, and it's supposed to be quite a departure from the original and from all the preceding flankers. So yeah. Number 14, La Vie est Belle Intense. So at number 13, we have Juliet Has a Gun. And this is so good. This is one of those scents that you put on and you don't necessarily know, like, it's not potent, it doesn't feel strong, it feels like a cloud that's just kind of surrounding you. It's so good. It's compared a lot to Hypnotic Poison, and I would say that it is similar. It has the powderiness and the factor, but it also has a little bit of neroli and raspberry, and I really like that at the top. So it has the iris, which makes it powdery. It has heliotrope, which makes it powdery. But it also has caramel and sandalwood, which make it so there you go. That was my number 13. For my number 12, this gave me such a hard time because, again, like I wasn't sure, but yeah. Number 12 is going to be Mancera's Gold Incense. This was a blind buy, of course, as usual, as they all are. And I haven't heard about this on YouTube. No one talks about this. No one that I watch talks about this. And I really love it. I'm really excited about wearing it some more. As you can imagine, there's a prominent incense note in there. Some people in the reviews say they actually don't smell the incense and they only get the vanilla, which I definitely get the incense. This is a warm, spicy, ambery vanilla. Great description for me. You know, I like my amber, my vanilla. This has top notes of coffee. It has notes of incense. It has vanilla pod, benzoin, white musk, rose, patchouli, violet, jasmine, and pink pepper, and mandarin orange. A lot of stuff. I mostly get the incense, mandarin orange. I think I do get a little bit of the coffee, but like I wouldn't know there was coffee in it. You know, it's not a coffee scent, but if I'm looking for it, I do smell it. The pink pepper I definitely get. I'm not a big fan of pepper in my fragrances. It can give a bit of a punch, but I don't usually need that punch. Definitely I get a little bit of the patchouli, the rose, the benzoin, the vanilla. I mean, to me, it's kind of like the whole thing together makes incense, you know? Like benzoin is very incensey too in this context. So yeah, I'm really enjoying this. I'm really, you know, I look forward to wearing it a lot more in 2021. And this is my number 13. I mean, that was my number 12, I meant, sorry. Okay, at number 11, we have Van Cleef & Arpels Bois Doré from their Collection Extraordinaire. So good. This is perfectly unisex, in my opinion. This is a tobacco vanilla, smoky, slightly sweet, super well blended, super smooth scent for like fall, winter, and so beautiful. This would be extremely sexy on a man. I love it on me, but like, yeah. This has mineral notes and black pepper at the top, which Elie from the Simple Chic Life does detect, and she says it gives a sort of cold feeling to what would otherwise be a very warm scent. I don't know that I can detect those mineral notes or the black pepper, but I do get the rest, and it's beautiful. I get the vanilla, I get the almond, the tobacco, the cedar, the tonka bean. Oh, it's really, really beautiful. It's so, so beautiful, and it is so precious to me. This is the only Van Cleef & Arpels I have in my collection. They're pretty expensive. I do get them on the gray market, but it's still quite expensive. So I have one so far in my collection. I would love to get Orchidée Vanille. I would love to have the rose one. Which ones are the ones? Wait. Yeah, there's a few I want. I really want Ambre Impériale. I want Bois d'Amande. I have the Bois Doré. I want the Bois d'Iris, Orchidée Vanille, the Precious Oud, the Rose Velours, the Rêve d'Encens, and Santal Blanc. The ones I want the most are Santal Blanc, Bois d'Amande, Bois d'Iris, Orchidée Vanille. Yeah. At number 10, this one was hard for me too, but ultimately I went with Jean-Paul Gaultier's La Belle. Oh, so good. I don't really like when when the nozzles don't have a cap, because you can't actually like smell them. People who have perfumes, you know, it's a lot harder to just come up to it and smell it, and a lot of the times that's all we want to do with our perfumes is come up and smell, and that's how you know, I also know what I want to wear that day is by first smelling it and then thinking about it. But this is a pear, vanilla, and vetiver fragrance. The pear is juicy. I'm not a big pear person, but the pear in here is just so realistic and juicy and like intoxicating. So I have, you know, made an exception for these kinds of pears. The vanilla is really delicious, and the vetiver is what grounds the perfume and stops it from becoming a little bit too linear, in my opinion. So this is really, really a beautiful, beautiful fragrance, beautiful scent. It has a beautiful opening, and that's mainly what I wear it for. That beautiful, juicy, sweet, caramelized pear sort of vibe in the beginning. So good. I will say, and this might be why it's not higher up on my list, it can go a little bit sour on the skin. I don't know if that's the word, but I feel like it is. It's like it can go a little bit sour on the skin, and I'm not sure. It might just be the pear. Like I said, I'm not the hugest pear fan. I'm not sure, but I still really love it, and it's at number 10. At number 9, we have a very popular perfume, but it is a flanker of the very popular Black Opium, and I went with Black Opium Nuit Blanche. I have the regular Opium too, and I've grown to like it a lot. Nuit Blanche is just a little bit creamier, a little bit softer, a little bit more well blended, a little bit less coffee, less sharpness in the opening. I don't get the rice note that is supposed to be in the top of this, but I kind of suspected I wouldn't because there was so much else going on. And rice in this context I thought was only going to add a little bit of creaminess and roundness, and I do get that, but it's hard to tell whether that's coming from the rice or from the caramel or the milk note. There's a milk note, you know, and to be honest, the milk note is totally what won me over. Like when I see a milk note, I want it. So yeah, so out of all the Black Opiums, well, not all, but the 2 that I have, this is the one I'm going to choose as my favorite. It is still quite similar to Black Opium regular, and like you don't need to have both, except if you're like me and you like having all the fragrances. Then at number 8, so at number 8 we have Ariana Grande's Cloud, and this is also a very, very popular fragrance, and it's just an easy grab and go. You just can't go wrong. It's so delicious, it's so yummy, it's appropriate anytime. I'm sure you've all heard about it by now. It is a sweet lactonic coconutty whipped cream vanillic yummy scent that you can wear anytime. Perfect for bedtime. I love it to like cozy up and read a good book. Yeah, delicious. This also has lavender and pear at the top, which I don't necessarily detect. It's just delicious. It's very like smooth and well blended, so yeah. At number 7, I have Zadig and Voltaire's Just Rock right here, and this this is a sandalwood perfume, vanilla sandalwood. No, it's not. So this is a vanilla, woody, tuberose, jasmine, patchouli, but it smells very, very similar to This Is Her by Zadig and Voltaire. So, and This Is Her is really a sandalwood scent. So to me, I'm like, I guess that's the vanilla in Zadig and Voltaire that smells so similar. And the woody notes must be the sandalwood, because it smells very similar. It's just woodier, and it's dry woodier, and you get the jasmine. Oh, it's so good. And it just adds a little bit of life to This Is Her, in the sense that to me This Is Her is like a cloud, similar to Cloud, in that it's just lactonic and sweet and cuddly and comforting. This one's a little bit more invigorating. This one is a little bit more like, this is the one I'm gonna grab when I'm like gonna go out for errands and I want a little bit more energy. I might be interacting with people a little bit more. That's just kind of the energy I get from this, which is probably why I haven't been wearing it much lately, because I'm not interacting with many people or going out. There you go. But for that, really, really yummy, really delicious. This is a great signature scent too, if you want to have the same scent all year round. Delicious. I love it. What I wanted to mention too was that this is actually very similar to Lalique Satine. The difference though is that Lalique Satine is vanillic, whereas this one is more sandalwood. So they both have that dry, woody, creamy, powdery sort of profile that's very yummy and comforting. And it's really dry. There's like this dryness, like menthol-y almost sort of vibe from them. But this one's a lot heavier on the vanilla and this one's a lot more heavy on the sandalwood. So yeah, but they are actually quite similar in vibes. At number 6, we have one of my best discoveries this year, and that is Valentino Assoluto. And this here is just kind of like my dream fragrance. Oh, I'm sorry. It's called Valentina Mir Assoluto Valentino. Sorry, not Mir. Myrrh. And what are the 3 main accords? Amber, vanilla, sweet. You know I'm gonna like it. Amber, vanilla, sweet. And this is a balsamic, slightly animalic, myrrh, vanilla, leather, ylang ylang, musk, and jasmine scent. All of Valentino's scents in this sort of thing here are very creamy and well blended and smooth, very smooth. There's nothing harsh. There are no edges. There are no sharp edges. There's nothing sharp in these. They're so delicious, so smooth, so elegant. And yeah, this one is my favorite of the ones I have. At number 5, I have another Paco Rabanne scent, and it is Pure Excess. And this one here, I was actually surprised that I liked it so much, because it took me a while to get it, because it has a notorious popcorn note in the top. And I've been slightly traumatized by popcorn scents that were like accidental popcorn notes in like creams and lip gloss and stuff. Like, and that just really, it's rare that I get repulsed by a scent, but those scents really repulse me. This one though, it's like a dry popcorn. It's like a savory dry popcorn without the butter. But then it has the salted caramel, tropical, I think it has ylang ylang in it too. Let me see. Yeah, it has ylang ylang in it. Coconut, peach, ylang ylang, musk, ambrette, amberwood, sandalwood. Oh, it's just so delicious. I really, really like it. And I don't know. I mean, I know Paco Rabanne has a little bit of a bad reputation, or like a cheap reputation, but like, it's doing pretty good with me right now. At number 4, I have Christian Dior Hypnotic Poison, and I have both the EDP and the EDT. I'm gonna choose the EDP, but to be honest, like, I love both, and either one is a great choice. The main differences are that the EDP has a licorice note. If you don't like licorice, you might not want that one. I love licorice, so that's fine with me. It's a tiny bit powderier. And this one is like, it takes a while for it to develop and to open up, whereas the EDT, you just kind of get all the notes right away. Like the coconut and the powderiness and the creaminess, and it's just a wonderful concoction. It's so comforting. Yeah, I would say the EDT is easier to wear for most people. The EDP is a little bit more mature smelling because of the licorice and the powdery notes, but I love both of them. At number 3, we have one of my favorite fragrances of all time, and that is Elie Saab Girl of Now. This is so delicious. Oh, okay. This is almond pistachio. It's a pistachio perfume. This is a sweet, nutty, creamy perfume. It's so delicious. It's so good. It has pistachio, pear, mandarin orange at the top. It has almond, orange blossom, and magnolia in the middle, and almond, milk, tonka bean, cashmere, and patchouli in the base. It's a winner. It's a winner. You know, the last three here, like, they could easily all take #1 spot, to be honest. But this is my #3 pick for today, Elie Saab Girl of Now. In the #2 spot, we have Olympia Intense. And this is what I was talking about before when I said that the reason, you know, I didn't have the other Olympia further up was because I was kind of enjoying this one a lot this year. And this really is Olympia Intense and kind of concentrated. So whereas the other one was a salty vanilla with a little bit of florals that were kind of so well blended into it that it just kind of gave this vibe. Like, it doesn't feel like flowers. It's just like this salty, windy, summery vibe. Whereas this one, the amber, the salt, and the vanilla are so concentrated that it really does feel more like a cold weather fragrance to me. And it's extremely addicting. Like, I just smell it and right away I start salivating. And it smells like a salted caramel. It's very salty. Ambery. Sweet amber though, because I have amber scents like this that are not sweet. This is a very sweet, salty, ambery scent. Vanilla. And it's absolutely delicious, and I don't ever want to be without this. Olympia Intense. And then finally, in my #1 spot for 2020, I have probably my greatest discovery this year, the most unique fragrance for sure, and probably the first fragrance in a very long time that I'm just like considering buying a backup bottle. I'm not a backup person, but this is her, Zadig Voltaire. This is heaven. This is why I love perfume. This makes me feel things every time I open it and smell it. It reminds me of a baby's head in the best way possible. It's just comforting, it's sweet, it's lactonic, it feels refined to me, it feels elegant, but in a very understated way. So understated. This is absolutely a signature scent. If I smelled this on someone, I would be obsessed with them. If I smelled this on someone, I would need to know what they were wearing. It's so amazing. I know Paula, she loves this just as much as I do. I can tell because she's like, it's like we love our perfumes, but I can tell she loves this one like I do. It's just like extra special spot in our heart. So there you go. That's my #1 spot. I highly recommend this if you haven't smelled it before. Not everyone likes this. It is a love it or hate it sort of scent. I know Ollie's mom has described it. I think she said it's like a molecule 04, which is supposed to be like a vomit smell, which, like, when she says that, I'm like, I know exactly what you mean. Sure. It does not smell like vomit, but it can remind you of vomit for sure. If it's not for you, some people have also called it a, Gabby Loves Perfume has a friend that said she smelled like a new rug. That, I'm like, I'll take your new rug. I don't get that as much, but the vomit thing, like, funnily enough, like, I do get, but it doesn't mean I think you smell like vomit. It smells so delicious, so yummy, and that is my #1 spot for my top 20 perfumes of 2020. So thank you so much for watching. If you made it to the end of the video, I hope that you really enjoyed that. Please let me know down below what your favorite perfumes of the year were. Maybe your top 5, your top 10. You can give me your top 20 if you want to. I would love to know. Let me know if any of the ones that I mentioned made the cut for you too. And I hope that you will like this video if you enjoyed it, and I hope that you will subscribe and join me on my scent journey. And until we see each other again, please take care. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.